What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Uber Cold Garage. On this week's episode, we're jumping back into the bug. So I took a break from the Ghia for a couple days. That way I can kind of focus on getting, what I need done to it. And we will do another video on that probably next weekend, maybe. So this week we're jumping into the bug. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so we're gonna be getting back into the bug. I'm gonna start getting the chassis stuff changed. I'm going to change a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna cut the whole bottom plate out of this, get rid of the old cage tabs. Also going to cut out where the original seat mounted to. I'm also going to cut off this whole bulkhead, cut off the rear plate, fix a couple other little things, get everything smoothed out. Let's see what else. I'll sand down the whole thing, that way it's nice and bare. So it is really start time to jamming on this. Hopefully the Ghia sells here pretty quick, so then I can order my chassis stuff, and then once the chassis stuff is here, the motor and trans can go back in. I have a couple more things to do with the trans and stuff like that, but we should be looking pretty good once all of that stuff comes in. So if you want a Ghia, come buy it, so then we can fund this. I want this done as fast as I possibly can. So we're gonna start jamming, and jamming hard, so let's get right into it. So, as you saw, I cut off the whole entire front of the center tunnel. I've also begun cleaning off all of the original paint, gross paint. Off camera, I got the roll cage off of that side, the roll cage bracing off of that side. This side still have to cut off. Going to end up making panels that cover all of the extra holes and all that stuff. And while I was at it, I forgot to film, I cut the bottom off of the entire thing. It's still just a rough cut, so I'm gonna go through, cut that flush, trim it up nice and smooth, so all of this is nice and smooth and cleaned up. Started doing it, so you can see it's super wavy in a couple spots, and you got a big old sliver there. So all that stuff will get cut off, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is buying a sheet of aluminum, of thicker aluminum, and that will bolt onto the bottom of this, and then on the outside of the tube chassis, that we are building, I will have tabs all the way around that bolt to that. That way it is 100% a flat bottom car. It'll be nice and smooth underneath. I'm actually thinking about making this part of the entire chassis removable, just because I'm going to run my brake lines, my fuel lines, and maybe a couple other little things through this as well. And so with that panel, I'll make it easily removable. That way I can get to all that stuff if I ever have to. So we'll keep moving on this and get ready to start building a chassis. Alright, so you saw me weld up a couple of the holes, actually all of the holes. I went ahead and cut off this bottom section here. I have a floor pan just screwed in a couple spots. That way I can get everything exactly where I need it. So then I know where the body's gonna sit and everything. So I went and picked up some flat stock. This thicker piece. It's gonna end up getting welded in right there. So that will act as a mount. A front mount for the flat bottom, and then the front tube will actually get welded onto that. So, and that gets welded into the actual tunnel. And then I'm going to put a flat plate in here with two 3-inch ducts and a knock-a duct in the floor pan, sort of up front, kind of in the front splitter, that will feed air through the tunnel and end up going into the engine bay, just to bring some fresh air into the engine compartment, hopefully keep it a little bit cooler. So we're gonna do this, and then the square tube here, I'm actually going to cut out of the back of the tunnel, and then I'll have a full piece of tube that runs all the way across, and that will weld into the center tunnel as well. The holes that I'm actually drilling out, so you can see here, that will slide into there. That hole will actually get another one on the other side, and that will go from side to side on the body, and those are actually seat mounts those will actually get welded onto the center tunnel as well. So I'll have 4 points holding the center tunnel in that'll actually be fully connected into the chassis. So that's kind of the game plan. Get everything all sealed up, and then I'll hopefully go pick up an aluminum sheet shortly, and then we can get the whole pan situation figured out. And then as soon as somebody comes and picks up this Gia, we'll order a cage and start building the actual chassis. So hopefully not too much longer. This car will actually really start coming together. So let's keep moving forward on this, and then after this is done, if the Gia hasn't sold by then we will hop back into getting the body all nice and clean and finished up. So then, you know, once the chassis is done, the body can go on and hopefully have a running, driving car. So getting there, let's keep pushing forward.
Might be a bit rough. I should have known, I should have seen. That look in your eyes is not letting me in. I can't believe this body's fine. I'm outside. It doesn't make any sense. This was not how I saw the end. But I keep on breathing. Heart is beating.
So I filled those 2 holes. I need to grind down a tiny bit more right here and right there, but other than that, they're all patched up. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more weld in here and then grind it back down so then it's all nice and smooth. It's getting there. I still have a couple little nubs and stuff to grind down and fill in. Went ahead and added in a patch there, and I'll be doing the same for that one and this one as well. But other than that, it's getting there. It's starting to clean up really nice. I'm gonna grind down the rest of the paint, get it down to bare metal, and start fresh. So we'll get this all cleaned up, get it ready, get it primered, and then hopefully we can start getting the chassis stuff all situated and start building it and getting it ready to go. After a ton of sanding, this is what it's starting to look like. Everything's all nice and capped from the front back to about the shift section here. So we're gonna keep sanding. Still have quite a bit. There's a couple little waves and stuff like that, but that's no big deal. As long as it's nice and sealed up and smooth. I'm going to cut another plate for this one, cover that one up. Went ahead and welded all of the holes that were there for the shifter originally, just because it wasn't positioned quite right. So I'm going to position this right where it needs to be. Drill new holes, weld nuts on the underside of the tunnel. That way I know it won't ever move, so then the shifter will work out pretty good. What else? So pretty much just continue with this. I gotta cut these off, finish sanding down and grinding down the rest of the stuff, sand off the rest of the paint, and then I'll do some self-etching primer and probably leave it in primer for now until I can start getting my tubes on there, and then after that then I'll paint it, and then I'll wrap it in plastic. That way it's nice and good, ready to go. The center tunnel I'm just going to paint black. It's going to get some sound deadening stuff on it, so that'll help keep any of the heat out or anything like that, since this tunnel will end up being a air transfer from the front of the car into the engine bay. That way try and get some fresh air into the engine bay, keep it a little bit cooler in there. As you can see, it has made quite a bit of a mess, so we're gonna clean that up. Alright guys, so that's all I have for you this week. Next week, like I said, we're probably gonna try and hop back onto the Ghia. I am currently filming more bug stuff, and all I have to say is it is turning out really, really good. So we're gonna keep pushing forward on the bug. Hopefully that video will be out shortly, and we will get the Ghia video next, and hopefully it'll be done and ready for somebody to come pick it up. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.